It is said that memory does not form in a child until they are past their earliest years.
But this has never been true for me. No. Victor Von Doom remembers all. Every moment of this life which has tried so hard yet failed to break me. Every loss, every sacrifice, every vengeance taken by these hands. I could not forget them if I tried. Father never believed me, but I swore that my awareness began in my mother's womb. Perhaps it was the demons Mother was dallying with that made this possible. Perhaps it was their touch that opened my mind too clearly and too early. But regardless, while Father couldn't believe my stories, Mother never doubted me for a moment. Mother's loving arms, how I lived for her embrace, as all boys do. If only I could have known why her hands were always so cold. But it was only years after it was much too late for her, too late for Father, too late for the entire world, that I would learn about her demons. A child of 3 cannot be expected to understand such things, of course. I only knew that my dear mother, who smiled at me with such love, also carried a dark shadow in her eyes, and that her hands were always cold as ice. Father knew, though, that she was delving into black arts, and he feared it with all his heart. Of course, Father was right. Mother did not understand the sacrifices her desires would demand, nor that the power she sought would be beyond her abilities to control. And so one night her spells brought disaster to us all. Manipulated by a demon, she was suddenly filled with a thirst for vengeance on the Baron's men, the soldiers who kept our little gypsy band on the run, who beat us and stole our earnings when they could, who'd done worse to our women. I could hear of her actions that night only later, and only through whispers in the dark, but it was said that she killed many soldiers, and at the same time, that the demon who allowed her the power to do so took the life of every child in the village as his payment. The surviving villagers chased the gypsy witch into the forest, where she fell to a soldier's blade. Father only found her in time for a tearful goodbye, and to hear the final whispered words he would never share with me. I would only know silent grief from him for years after.
His mother's final words? Boris was Werner's best friend, and Boris told me the witch's final words were about young Victor, begging, or rather warning, her husband to keep him away from her dark places. I suppose, considering what happened at the funeral, that she was a fair judge of what the boy would turn out to be.